Tao Te Ching. Tao begets one, one begets two. Two begets three, three begets all things. Tao Te Ching Chapter 1, Mr. Laozi has already explained what kind of Tao he wants to describe. The Tao that can be described is not the real Tao. This Tao is not the Tao that we generally know, for example, Quanzhen sect, Maoshan sect, and also the Taoism, my sect Xianzong, etc. So Mr. Laozi only uses 3 Chinese characters to explain the Tao he wants to emphasize. That is Fei Chong Tao, personal opinion. If only explained with words, it may not be enough to describe the Tao that Mr. Laozi wants to emphasize. This Tao, Mr. Laozi does not know it what it is. So, he uses 1 Chinese character to describe its existence, that is Tao. Mr. Laozi uses to be boundlessly great, too small to be invisible, to describe it. In order to increase our understanding of it, Mr. Laozi used the object on the earth, water, to increase our impression of it. Yin-Yang 2 studies. As we know, if we look at yin-yang from the perspective of Book of Changes/I Ching, yin-yang can be combined into one can also be decomposed into yin-yang, 1 into 2. In fact, this process is actually all in one. However, we must understand. Mr. Laozi was the director of the Zhou dynasty library in the Zhou dynasty. I personally guess that Mr. Laozi should also have some insights on some ancient wisdom. I will express my views on Taoism with some superficial views. If there are any mistakes, please don't be offended, and the Taoist priests in the Central Plains/Zhongyuan, please don't hesitate to point out the confusion. Thank you. Since I entered Taoism, sometimes I have some perceptions and experiences that is free and easy. This is not escaping from the world, but sometimes I have some empathy. This is why I have been calling on the Taoist priests in the Central Plains/Zhongyuan to come out of the mountains, rectify and organize Taoism, and save the people. Thank you. It is necessary to understand that Mr. Laozi is different from others in one aspect among the hundreds of philosophers. When Mr. Laozi was alive, he did not write books specifically to pass on to future generations. Instead, when he passed through Hangu Guan, at the request of Mr. Inshi, Mr. Laozi left behind a Tao Te Ching. In my personal opinion, this should be the essence of Mr. Laozi's lifelong learning. Tao begets one. When I just entered the master's gate, my master asked me what one is. My master Eetian Dao Ren used the sun and earth when they were just born as an example. I emphasize here that I am not talking about astronomy and geography. Please do not be offended if there is a deviation. Before our earth and sun were not born. In the position between the earth and sun, originally it was a nothingness, just space. When the Big Bang occurred, dust and cosmic energy came to the position of the earth and sun. At the beginning, there was a chaos of dust. This is one. Before yin and yang were distinguished, that is, before the 2 stars of earth and sun were formed, this was a whole. However, this whole was in the initial stage, when yin and yang were not distinguished. We must understand that Tao begets one. The process of Tao begets one requires time. This distinguishing of temporality is very, very important, and it is not accomplished overnight. One begets two. When the chaos of dust was pulled by energy, yin and yang began to distinguish and formed the initial form of sun and earth. However, we must understand that this is still in the initial stage and is not enough to form a living body. This also requires time. The formation of this temporality is also very, very important. 2 begets 3. When the sun and earth completed their forms, the earth also began to rotate and revolve toward the sun. At this time, it also needs time to adjust. After the earth completed its cooling, the geographical features began to take shape, the formation of the surface, which is also 3, such as the natural environment of mountains, rivers, streams, lightning, etc. This is also the origin of the 8 diagrams. With the geographical features and mountain and river environment, life can be born, so the 8 diagrams are named after the geographical features, which is also the basis of endless life. At the same time, the help of the sun is indispensable, and the earth has 4 seasons and other phenomena. At this time, the interaction of yin and yang, three begets all things. When the geographical features took shape, at this time, the earth also completed its revolution and rotation towards the sun, for distinct seasons, day and night distinct. Life was born on the surface of the earth, and when human beings were born, human beings also had their own life rules in the distinct day and night, 24 hours. And the ancient Chinese also used the laws of the celestial phenomena. For example, time was developed because of farming, etc., and then used the celestial phenomena, geographical features, flowers, trees, mountains, rivers, etc., to develop the unique Chinese wisdom in the world. The above is the teaching process of my master Tian Dao Ren. Because I am a Malaysian Chinese, my master's words are too deep, I don't understand. My master taught me in a simple and easy to understand way. Let's encourage each other.